created live on Fireside.
Woohoo!
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Every time, Chris.
Yes. Here we are.
Happy Chris and Amanda Day, Chris.
Happy Chris and Mandy Day.
Mandy Day. My name is hard to say some days.
Today, I'm gonna tell you, just can't get Happy Chris and Mandy something day.
It's about as hard as your Blitzkrieg Bop for me.
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Oh, that sounds so much easier.
Wait, how were you pronouncing it?
Hold on, Blitzkrieg Bop.
Oh my god, it's great. Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg?
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop. I guarantee you, when they were naming that song, they were not going to go, Amanda Sharp cannot say this. Whew,
They were counting. They were counting on it. They're like, we're going to do this song, and there's no way Amanda Sharp is going to be able to do this song. Is going to be able to say the name of this song.
Oh, so many songs, but this one was extraordinarily harder to say.
Yes, but very fun.
But very fun, and it's been in my head since it's been on the list.
Nice. We have a good list this week.
It's a fun list.
It's a fun list. I like your list was very eclectic.
Ooh.
It was very eclectic this week. You had a lot going on there.
And I have to say, because we were doing the poll on what's it called?
The gram?
No, but we used to do it on the Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
And we only had the Patreon members, voting.
Yeah.
So this was our first time since we've said goodbye to Patreon and did it on the IG. And oh my goodness, the fun votes that were coming in. It was so much more fun to see the voting. And boy, they were nixing songs left and right. Jeez.
Yeah, there was, I liked it. And on top of that, too, what I also appreciated was some of the fun comments we got about some of the songs that were nixed. I got to say, I really appreciate people taking the time to go that much further with it, because it is very fun. I got to tell you, from our point of view, it's fun, because I feel like now you sort of feel like what it's like to pick shows for the song, songs for the show, by doing that. So I appreciate the little notes that come associated with the votes.
If I hear "Don't Stop Believing" one more time.
It's so good. I love it. It's perfect. Well, welcome everybody to the Chris and Amanda show. We've got all kinds of cool things ready to go for you today. Thanks everybody once again for voting on the list. We got a really cool list to go through. I'm anxious to get started on Amanda's list. I'm sure she's got a lot to say about mine. But I'm going to throw it back over to Amanda. For anybody who is a first-time listener to the Chris and Amanda show, we want to let you know how the show works. So, Amanda, take it away.
Take it away. And if for some reason... Oh, well, thank you. Was that you?
That was me.
I was like, who's doing that in the audience? Well, thank you. It's just my partner in crime. Thanks, Chris.
Always your biggest cheerleader.
You are, and thank you for that. Well, this is the Chris and Amanda show where we rate 3 songs a piece. We start with 4. Our community helps us narrow it down to 3, and we rate those songs on a difficult scale of 5 records to 1 record. 5 records is it's a fantastic song, and it's never going to leave our ears. 1 is a dumpster fire, and let's be honest, should have never come to life. We have yet to have a 1 record, but we've had several 5. And like we say every single week, records going than I could have ever imagined. Would you agree, Chris?
I would absolutely agree.
He concurs.
I do agree. I concur. I concur with that statement.
I love, and I am getting standby issue like going across my thing, so I hope everyone can hear me well.
I do see you were talking there for just a little bit, and it kind of cut out quick and came right back on.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, so it seems like there may be just some connection issues, little buggy today, but hey, that's all right. We will do the show. We will keep going.
love it.
and get through it. We're here to get through it. But yeah, so as Amanda said, we pick 3 songs for each other every single week. We've got a bunch of new songs all lined up and ready to go. Some cool quick news is we made a show trailer, which you can hear over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts right now, which means we are going to be syndicating the show out now. Besides being able to listen live and participate here on Fireside and listen to the replays here on Fireside, we're also now pushing the show out via Spotify and Apple now and hosted on Libsyn. So we're super excited to finally be getting the show out to a whole other, audience. We're so thankful for our Fireside family here who have been with us since day one, supporting us, pushing us, and we absolutely love it. And we will be continuing to create the show here live on Fireside every single week.
The live interaction is just so fun. That element to our recording just is so great. So clap a lot, heart a lot, boo a lot if you need to. Thumbs
Whatever.
down, thumbs up. We take it because it all adds a conversation. Don't feel shy to raise your hand to get up onto this stage and add to a story or tell us our scoring stinks like James Scott has done several times to Chris on Uptown Girl. I don't want to trigger James, but what is a Chris and Amanda show without that reference?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you guys talking about?
I know. Listen, yes, yeah. I'll post it in the comments, that episode. It'll forever live in the show notes of the Chris and Amanda show.
I think so.
So, you want me to just dive right into your song choices for me?
Why don't you let's kick this off. Let's dive right in. Let's go.
I'm gonna stumble through all of the titles, but that's okay because that's the Amanda way. So the first one I got When I Get Old. Boom.
You got it.
And Descendents. I can say that.
You can say that. You say that with confidence.
Yes.
And confidence.
When I Get Old. It just makes sense. Goes together.
It does.
That second song choice, though, and believe me, I was hoping this one would be eliminated. Nope, not so lucky. Just so I didn't have to say it.
Yep.
But it didn't. It's here on the list. Blitzkrieg. Did I say it right?
You got it.
Well, I mean, we spent 5 minutes at the beginning of the show prepping me. Bop. By the Ramones. And then your third choice was Hybrid Moments by the Misfits.
That's right. Going back in with another Misfits song.
Those Misfits causing troubles.
Always causing trouble. Being Misfits.
Causing troubles is right. So what are my songs to you this week, sir?
Well, your songs to me this week, first and foremost is the song that I think everybody, I don't know if there's a person on the planet who hasn't ever heard this song at this point, but Journey, Don't Stop Believin'. So that is your first song to me this week. Your second song to me is Tiffany, Could Have Been. You know what? And I gotta say, by the way, welcome everybody to the 20th show. It took 20 shows for Amanda to give me a Tiffany song, and I totally thought I would get a Tiffany song from you like within the first 5 shows, and when it didn't happen, I was kind of like,
It took months.
It took a long time. I got Debbie Gibson before I got Tiffany,
and I dig Debbie so much. But you know what happened is somehow when I was listening to my Pandora, a suggested station came on and I was like trying to accept a call in my car and I accidentally hit the suggested station and it went straight to Tiffany. I was like, how has this not been on the list? And this song was like the first song. I was like, it is on. So it's been on my list for like over a week, like ready to go. So yeah,
locked and loaded.
Episodes. How on earth was that possible? So
I don't
good
know.
Observation.
But here we are. Number 20. And Tiffany
so
finally
legal.
makes her first appearance on the show. And then we got Lauren Daigle. I got that right.
You did.
Daigle with You Say.
Unless I say it wrong too.
I don't know. I'm going with Daigle. If we're wrong on that, if anybody in the audience is a fan of Lauren Daigle, I think that's how we say it. We were going with that's how you say it. Let us know. and
That was a
correct
close
us.
call. That one almost got canned.
It was on the edge. I saw
on the
quite a few votes coming. I go, this isn't gonna make
I know.
it. It's not gonna
Those
make
are
it. It made it on
my
by the
three
skin of its teeth.
By the skin of a seat is right.
Yeah.
So, I feel like you really want to dive into my song, so I'm going to let you start.
Well, I do. Thank you. So it's funny. Oh, thank you. All right, James. All right. So, diving in here. So it's funny you sent me this song because you sent it. I think I got it from you on like Friday or something like that. So, I went out Saturday night and there was a band playing at the, at the bar right by my house. And wouldn't you know it, they played Don't Stop Believin'. And the bar went wild. It went wild. Everybody was singing along. It was great. So I think at this point, everybody knows Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. It's all for the record Escape, which came out in 1981. This song is that old.
Did that come out that
1981. Year? Yeah. Crazy. When I looked up, because I remember listening to this. Still Believin'. I remember listening to this back in the day, and when it came out, I had this on cassette, and always loved the song. And it's been a go-to rock staple. I mean, it's on rock radio everywhere. I mean, I don't think there's a place that you've gone where you haven't heard "Don't Stop Believin'" from concerts to sporting events, to bars and cover bands and jukeboxes, weddings. This now is like, you can't even go to a wedding anymore or any kind of like special event without hearing Don't Stop Believin'. So this song is everywhere and anywhere. But there was some cool things that I found out looking up some of the history about this song over on our handy dandy songfacts.com. And so one is that this song, which is probably one of Journey's most popular songs, is actually not their most successful song. Their most successful song from a charting position would be Open Arms. That was a song that actually went to number 1 for them. This song peaked on the US charts at number 9 and on the UK charts at number 6. Just an interesting tidbit. So when it was released, it did well, and it's definitely gone on into like a pantheon of well-known like staple rock songs. But from a success standpoint, as far as number 1 hit thing, that Open Arms would be their number 1 hit. So anyway, I just thought that was cool little tidbit. Another interesting thing I found out, which I actually never realized, and this is what happens when you hear a song so many times, you don't realize it, but the song itself has actually a very bizarre song structure. It's not typical and it's not traditional. So basically, Alex, it has a unique structure, and I think this is what helps you. It's according to Song Facts, and I agree. This is what helps it stick in your mind. So whereas most songs have a chorus, verse, chorus, and repeated several times, Don't Stop Believing actually brings in its chorus and the title of the song only at the end of the song, about 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the song. So the structure of the song is actually instrumental verse, first verse, instrumental, second verse, and then first pre-chorus, then an instrumental, third verse, second pre-chorus, instrumental, and then finally the full chorus until the song fades out. So does not follow the traditional song structure, which is, never realized it, never thought about it like that. But then I'm like, holy cow, that is just, it's not a chorus, verse, chorus, or verse, chorus. Yeah.
And when it starts, like, everyone knows what's about to happen. Like, it's such a signature beginning.
That whole piano.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. So if everybody's been just trying to figure out how the song came about, so a couple quick soundbite or a couple quick interview excerpts I found. So keyboardist Jonathan Kane had said, the song began with the chorus. My father had coached me. I was in Hollywood, struggling with my career, kind of lost. I was asking him, should I come back home to Chicago, or should I just give up on this dream altogether? And he said, nope, no, son. Stay the course. Have a vision. It's going to happen. Don't stop believing. Then in a New York magazine interview, lead singer Steve Perry, explained that the song originated during a series of gigs in Detroit when he found himself in a hotel room, unable to sleep, staring out the window. This is where he came up with the line, strangers waiting up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching in the night, streetlight people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. And he goes on to say, I was just digging the idea of how the lights were facing down so you couldn't see anything. All of a sudden, I'd see people walking out of the dark and into the light, and the term streetlight people came to me. So Detroit was very much in my consciousness when we started writing. And he says something which is because so anybody who's from, say, I'm not from Detroit or anything, so I did not know this, but so this is another funny thing. So, the song starts with Steve Perry singing about a young couple from two different backgrounds, just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. But so anybody who lives in Detroit, which I do not, will tell you there is no location called South Detroit. Detroit, Michigan is distinguished only by East Side and West Side. If you go to South Detroit down the river, you end up in Canada, actually. So Steve Perry admitted in the same article from the New York Magazine that he wasn't overly concerned with being geographically accurate. I ran the phonetics of East, West, and North, but nothing sounded as good or as emotionally true to me as South Detroit. He said, so the syntax just sounded right. I fell in love with the line. It's only been in the last few years that I learned that there's no South Detroit, but it doesn't matter. So I just thought that was a really funny tidbit of because I was like, oh yeah, South Detroit, but it's like but geographically, if you go to South Detroit, you're in Canada apparently. So
around here, when that song plays, everyone really sings that part with conviction because that's the area, born and raised in South Detroit. We could be argued that Southeastern Michigan, South Detroit, right? Even though it's not, like you said. And so my friend went down to Florida to visit, and she says, note to everyone, if you're in Florida and you're in a bar and that song comes on, don't scream at the top of your lungs, born and raised in South Detroit, thinking you're in Michigan, because you're just going to look like a fool because no one else does it. And I could just see her just individually born and raised in South Detroit. And everyone's just going, what's happening?
What's going on here?
What's happening? She's really convicted about that part.
Really loving it.
That's a big line in the song for us Michiganders.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because even I think everybody likes singing that because it's he hits that high note and everybody kind of likes singing that high note with him. But yeah, I never bothered to look at a map. I just South Detroit. I'm not from there in Michigan and all that. So I just took it as okay. And then you read this and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you look at the map and you're like, wow, that actually, there is no South Detroit. It doesn't exist. So real quick too. So the song, we were talking about being really popular and pretty much can't hear it anywhere. I mean, this song has actually appeared in tons of films and TV shows. So notably, it was in the 2003 movie Monster, starring Charlize Theron as serial killer Eileen Wermis. That was it was in the roller rink and everything. It was actually the closing number for Rock of Ages that was on Broadway. That ran from 2009 to 2015. It was the big closing number. It's been in Scrubs, South Park, The Wedding Singer, Shrek the Halls, Bedtime Stories, Yes Dear, King of the Hill, The Comebacks, View from the Top, Cold Case, CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, My Name is Earl, Just Shoot Me, Laguna Beach, and Glee. And the biggest, I think, use of this song, which I think a lot of people associate with, is, of course, the series finale of The Sopranos, where, pretty much they time it up perfectly with the end saying don't stop and it goes to black and all that. So if anybody watches Sopranos, how big of how ambiguous of an ending that was. And they pretty much played this whole song over that entire end. So this song is amazing too, because it really took on a whole second life. And when we were talking about being released in 1981 and how a song, cycles through and popular culture brings it back, revitalizes it, and pretty amazing. I mean, even my kids know this song, and it was actually, too, another quick note, and then I'll give you my rating. We'll move on. But this was one of the first songs released on iTunes that, for a single song, had hit 2 million downloads in 24 hours after it was released on iTunes.
24 hours?
Yeah, so this was a single day record for when a song was released for a single download when iTunes was starting to do, now think back a little bit, like, when that Sopranos episode came out and all that. But this was the first song to hit a 2 million download mark on iTunes. Pretty interesting.
Do you think our 100th episode will hit that mark?
Yes. 2 million downloads.
100th episode. Triple digits, and we're going to be there.
Triple digits. That's all it's going to take.
We're not going to stop believing.
We're not going to stop believing. Never stop believing. So, with that said, I am a fan of Journey. I do like Journey. Like I said, I had this on cassette when it came out back in the 80s. And I've always, this whole record, Escape, for me is an awesome record. A lot of great rock songs on here from start to finish. So if you've never even listened to the full record, I highly recommend you listen to Journey Escape, because it is a total, like, it rips. It is a ripper. And I've always loved Steve Perry's voice. I think his voice is just stunning. And as far as a male vocalist goes, he is really one of my favorite singers. And so Neil Sean, I mean, the whole band, great. So that being said, this is a 5-record song for me. I mean, for my world, it's nothing less than 5 records.
I like that. And I feel like this song was the song that we probably were going to spend the most time on, just because it's such a well-known classic song. I figured you'd find a lot of facts on it, because remember, Amanda's all about feelings. Chris is all about the facts. And the only reason it made it on the list is because I got a little, like, happy with it as, like, what last week was happening.
Yeah.
Like the opening of the store. I was like, yeah, don't stop believing. That's right, Amanda.
That's right. That's right. No, it's a great song. I mean, I think, listen, is it a little overplayed now? Yes. I mean, I think, but it just happens with songs. I mean, but I think certain songs just, fall into that category of, like, people just love them. They cross genres. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it a little overplayed? Yes, it is. But, I still like it. Even when you go, oh, here it comes again. But I got to tell you, you said it, Amanda. You said when that piano part comes in, it's like you feel it. Dun, 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 dun. It's just cool, And then Steve Perry's voice, just like hitting those high notes. Everybody always has fun trying to hit those high notes. Even in the bar, we were doing it. And, basically at this point, the band was just playing it and the whole bar was singing. It's no matter how much you hate the song or whatever, like you still I feel like you get wrapped up in the energy of everybody kind of singing it. So 5 records for me.
I love that. And I don't know if this is an appropriate time to talk about next week's episode, but I feel like because this is probably covered so much by bands and stuff, do we want to talk about what episode 21 is going to be, Chris?
I think that's a great time to talk about episode 21 as we turn drinking age.
Fully legal. Fully legal.
Fully legal next week. Chris and Amanda show turns 21 weeks old next week. And so Amanda and I are going to do a very special episode where we're going to each pick 3 songs for each other, but they are going to be cover songs. So we're going to pick cover versions of songs for each other, and we will rate and review them for you all. And I cannot wait, because I'm going to pick cover songs that I think I'm going to get a polarizing reaction from you one way or the other.
And it's possible we're going to choose the same song without even realizing it.
It's possible, although I'm going to try hard. I am going to try hard, though, to pick songs that I don't think that you've heard these versions of.
But
it could happen.
Yeah. Like Sweet Child of Mine.
Possible.
That could have been a type thing.
No, that could have been. And the All-Star, my version of All-Star by Captain Chunk. That could have been one.
And so I was thinking when you made that, because this is Chris's complete idea, and I just fell in love with it. Do we want to do like a little bonus song that our listeners get to choose a cover song, and then we have to choose our favorite cover of that song?
Ooh, I love that idea. I think that's a great idea, Amanda.
Cover 7 songs next week, because we're big enough and we can handle that now. 21.
We can handle it. We can handle
it. So we'll have to come up with, I'll throw a post on IG and you guys can do some voting, because that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. James Scott checking in. They could all easily be Glee covers.
Listen, I don't watch Glee, but when a Glee cover comes on, it's really my style. And James, you probably would understand, even though you have, is that a pukey face or a dollar sign face?
No, I think it was the dollar face.
Okay.
That's a money face.
Like, I can't see. I'm getting old. It's because of the connection issue. It's really not. All right. So that'll be fun for episode 21. So be sure to put it on your calendar to meet us here at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next week for our episode 21. Okay. So Chris's song, because it's already 12:30 and we're one song in, is When I Get Old by the Descendents. And okay. You know how I get all stuck in the lyrics.
I know.
Like, I know, Amanda.
I know. Well, I felt like this song would be a song where, since you take things so literal, I think that this is a perfect literal song for you.
It is. It is. And, so of all the songs, I like the sound of the song the best.
Mm-hmm.
It was my favorite of the batch, I'll be honest. But I have to say, I've never really thought about me old. And that made me go, I wonder if Chris has. So, Chris, have you thought about yourself old?
I have, actually. I do. I think about it and that's why I love this song so much, because I feel like this is kind of like, I do wonder about these things, like how much will I change as I get older, and will certain things that still interested me, like years ago, still be of interest to me. Like and first of all, the Descendents for me they are like one of my favorites, like in the Mount Rushmore of punk bands. Like the Descendents are there for me. They're on the Mount Rushmore of punk bands. I love this band so much.
I like that.
Because they're just like regular guys, and like Milo's like kind of like their mascot. He's like, he's got the glasses, and he's actually a biochemist by trade. Yeah. And, all these guys are just amazing musicians. But the thing I really loved about the Descendents is their lyrics, because their lyrics were like just so much like exactly how I ever felt. Everything was like, I'm the guy who everybody wants to be friends with, but like, had a hard time like getting girlfriend, I always got friend zoned a lot. So it's like a lot of their songs kind of talk about that and those feelings. And, and it's like funny. Like this song is kind of ironic for them, because a lot of their songs like early on were very juvenile and had that. And then it's like they've grown. And so I kind of loved how this song is sort of that reflection of like where they were and where they were now. And then when they did this song, and, kind of even where they've gone now, because this is like now years later when they wrote this song. So they've even gotten older now. So I don't know. I feel like I'm the guy in this song.
Well,
like
and
I can relate to this a lot.
I feel like for me as a woman, I felt like it was a man song by the lyrics.
Right.
And there's
I can see that.
About like grabbing a butt.
Yeah.
They use the other
Which
word.
I thought was cute. It's cute.
It is cute because might be too much information, TMI or whatever it's called these days. But like Marcus will like pinch my butters or bother me. I call it bothering me. And I was like, why do you always have to bother me? And he's like, you ask all your old lady friends if they would love their husband to still pinch their butts, and they're going to say yes. And so it made me laugh when I heard that lyric. I was like, it's like Marcus. That's something like he's asking himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully at like 70, if I live to be that, he's still trying to pinch my butt.
That's why why not? I mean, I just like that song because I do think about it. Like, what will I be like when I get old? Like, will I still do this? Will I still do that? Will I still be like, I just think it's and I do think about that. Like, will I still be the guy that goes and hangs out in record stores for 2 hours flipping through records? Probably,
That would be fun.
Like, even if I can't walk anymore, I think, just like push the wheelchair in there. I'll be yelling at my grandkids to push me in wheel me into the record store.
Go faster. So if I had to choose somebody, and I can't live up to her because she's so fabulous, but it'd be fun to age like a Betty White.
Oh God. I think we all would love to age like Betty White. I think regardless of gender.
She's got her brain still. I mean, she's just so amazing.
She's dynamic.
If I could like live half the life of Betty White, like, wow, what a blessing that would be. So as far as like a man, is there a certain guy that you would like to age like? Like a Clint Eastwood or,
Yeah, not really a Clint
just
Eastwood.
A random person.
Just a random.
Pops in my head.
You know who I think has gotten like just more awesome as he's aged? Actually, we were just talking about this, and it was a great question. I think Sam Elliott.
I love
Like
well, what episode was it that I
from the
divulged
ranch.
that I had that I had a crush on him? There's an
Don't
episode
remember.
we talked about this.
Yeah, I know. I can't. If anybody else can remember, let us know.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, but Sam Elliott's a guy who and even like Sean Connery to a point. Like I mean, like these guys, I feel like they got older and they got more awesome. I mean, they're all talented to begin with, but I don't know the way they've sort of aged and handled themselves.
Tom Selleck.
Yeah. Tom Selleck is another good one. Like, I think all those. I think they're all cool. And even like talking about this band, like. Like these guys, I think have all aged well, and like Milo the singer, like I just, I dig the way they have still kind of still doing their thing, still who they are, and like, but doing it like at it, like where it's still cool and it's not like, oh God, like I can't believe, like you're saying, like Betty White is a great example.
I love it, and they're doing it their way.
They are,
which is so
totally
impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. So.
It got me thinking about, life, death, all those things. And then I do enjoy the song. It had a great beat. The lyrics were fun. It was my favorite of all three. It wasn't a 5 for me, even though I can really appreciate it.
I didn't think it would be a 5 for you, but I thought that you would really key in on the lyrics.
For sure. It's going to be one of those that I think I will like more as I hear it more on our playlist. So I'm going to give it a solid 4. I can't do it a 5.
Cool.
I can't do it a 5.
No, that's okay.
A solid 4.
That's okay. All right. Very good. I like that. I like that rating. I accept your rating. Because there's like probably about 40 different Descendents songs I've been wanting to send you. And I go back and forth all the time. I'm like, no, I'm not ready to send you a Descendents song yet. I really got to figure it out. I think there's a couple times I tried to send you and then they didn't make it through the voting process when we were on Patreon. But I loved the support that we got this week for the Descendents. There was a lot of Descendents love coming in on our voting. Coming in hot. So I love that. So thank you. I love your rating.
Thanks. So no one booed us, so they must agree with our ratings for our first 2 songs. So if anyone wants to come up to the stage and add to those stories, feel free. If not, we'll move on to the other songs. Blitzkrieg Bop. Maybe I said it once right in this whole episode. I don't know if I can say it twice right. So all right. So what does my number 2 song to you mean to you, Chris, this time?
Oh, we have a speaker request. Before we start, should we
Chris,
accept?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's Chris Kosich.
Hello, the famous Chris.
I know.
Hello.
Stop it.
Gracing our stage.
We won't.
We won't stop.
We won't stop believing. We won't stop believing. No, we won't.
Don't stop believing, Amanda. Don't stop believing.
We won't.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you for the earwig, because now I'm going to have the Ramones in my head all day long.
Nice.
Which I love, right? But I wanted to share that this was super fun. My 9-year-old daughter did something called School of Rock summer camp, and they did Blitzkrieg Bop. A bunch of 9-year-olds, and it was so damn cute. It was really fantastic. So, it's a simple song to play, from what I understand, and all those songs are like 2 minutes long, and they're very consumable. So, Amanda, I hope that will send you on a New York punk rabbit hole, because if you go down that rabbit hole, I promise you'll be finished in about 16 minutes.
Well, you know what's really funny, Chris, is I forgot to write it down somewhere on my notes, and I'm bummed, but I'm so glad you brought it up. So my list, the songs are longer. There's like 2 4-minute and a solid 3-minute song. And for Chris's, like, I think his whole list to play from start to finish was like 2 minutes long. Mine's definitely double the length of time this week of Chris songs.
It's so funny.
That's funny that you brought that up.
Well, they're catchy, fun songs, but they must also be incredibly exhausting to play. And that's probably why they're short. I have a general request from you. I'm going to flip it on you two on the spot, if that's cool. I'm listening to the Chris and Amanda show as I create a playlist for a radio station in Birmingham, UK. And I need some Northeast indie bands preferably something in the last couple of years that are your faves. And actually, Amanda, it doesn't have to be Northeast because I'm going from coast to coast. So I would like to question you both on the floor and ask you who like your favorite indie artist is.
Chris is like smiling and beaming like ear to ear. He's so ready for this. I'm like
so
sweating going, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. So wait, you're talking like how current?
I prefer to be rather current, but I am going to come out of the gate with the Pixies. So that's not current.
Not current.
So yeah, I'm looking for, the problem is look, I'm preaching to the choir here. I'm preaching to the other Chris here. That fact is that all the awesome indie music I know is either local to LA, local to Atlanta, or from the 90s and early aughts. That's kind of the problem. But I promised these people I'd take them on a coast-to-coast trip, and I'm kind of stuck in Boston right now with my music. Ooh. And I'm digging, but everything is very emo, and I'd prefer to stay away from that if it's possible.
Listen, I just recently figured out what ska was. I don't even know emo yet, Chris.
Well, I actually sent Chris an awesome ska band from New Orleans recently. I said, you have to check. I sent Chris these little notes, like as I discover, I go, you got to check these guys out. Check this out. These guys are awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, they're on the list, but I haven't gotten south yet. So I'm just trying to stick with like Philly, New York, Boston, and then make my way down to DC eventually. But can you think of one off the top of your head? Jersey, New York, tri-state?
And as in very current, I'd have to
within the last couple of years. How's that?
Within the last couple of years, it's a really good question. Let me think of that, because a lot of the stuff I still listen to tends to be a little bit from a few years back. Where I'm trying to think of a band that recently got back together and did something. I may have to get back to you on this. I'm gonna have to. Because it's hard for me sometimes because a Rolodex is going in my head.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, both of you, please ping me. You know where I am.
Don't worry. I'm going to give you a list.
I love today's. All right, awesome. Be careful what you wish for, right, Amanda?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I got one for you, Chris. Here you go. This right off the top of my head. Quicksand came out with a new record this year. It is awesome.
Okay. Wow, they've been around a while. Okay.
Yeah, they have been, and they're back, and they came out with a new record, and it is called Distant Populations, and it is awesome.
Okay, I got it. That's nice. I don't know where are they from?
New York.
NYC. Okay, excellent.
NYC.
You're a good man. All right, thank you guys. I'm enjoying the discussion today, and Blitzkrieg Bop is playing in the background of my head, but please continue.
It's so unfair how easily you say it, Chris, and I still struggle.
Oh, no, you'll get it. Just, you know what, Amanda, just listen to the song all day long, and it is so doggone catchy that it will just stick in your lexicon and then never, ever, ever, ever
That's right.
leave.
Hey ho, let's go.
You know that bop song. That bop song.
That's right.
Ho,
In fact,
let's go.
I put as my story today, and I tagged the Chris and Amanda show, and I wrote "Let's Go." So that's
for
sitting there for
that.
you, Instagram. So anyway, thank you so much for letting me speak. You guys have a beautiful Monday. Have a great Tuesday too. But first, have a great Monday.
We'll start there.
Yeah, we'll start with that.
I'm going to shut up now. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chris. Bye.
Oh,
so awesome.
And of course, suggestion. You're amazing, Chris.
Yeah. And I know I got more, so it's not going to stop there, Chris. I can assure you. All right. So back to the show. Your second song to me was Tiffany, Could Have Been.
Mm-hmm.
Not I Think We're Alone Now, which I appreciate you didn't send me that, because I think that would have been too easy.
Yeah.
Could Have Been is a good pick. So interesting enough, this was a number one song in the US.
As it should be.
And it was number 4 in the UK.
Fair.
So she had two number one songs back to back with I Think We're Alone Now, and then followed right up by Could Have Been. So 2 number 1 hits. So I'm gonna give you a little inside stuff.
I don't know. I'm getting real close to the screen. You guys
You're really
can't
close
see
to
it,
the screen.
I've got a really big forehead right now.
I had a really big crush on Tiffany back in the day.
Oh,
13-year-old Chris was 14-year-old Chris in 1987. I was definitely way more of a Tiffany fan than Debbie Gibson. Tiffany was like, she hung it at the mall. Like she was, then she had that thing where she ran away for a little bit, and I was like, ooh, now she's even cooler. Like, she was kind of like a little like, she was a little rough around the, she was like, I'm kind of a little punk about it. Like Tiffany was, I was definitely way more of a Tiffany fan than Debbie Gibson for sure. But I definitely had a crush on Tiffany. I'm just going to say it.
You know what? You and
I'm going to admit it to everybody.
14-year-old boys.
I mean, come on, 13, 14 years. This is like and she's like, I'm like, she's not that much older than me. She's like 16 or 15, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It could work. It could work.
Yes, absolutely.
It could have worked.
That's precious.
Yes. So I remember also too, like Could Have Been like, so we were doing like a lot of like roller rink birthday parties around this time. So then this was the slow skate song, Could Have Been. It's like definitely a slow skate song. So I have a lot of nostalgia around Tiffany and this song and Think We're Alone. I just remember when it came out, it was like everybody was kind of talking about it. It was right in that time, and we were always hoping like, oh, I hope Tiffany comes and plays at our mall, hope the mall tour starts at our mall, but didn't happen.
Did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Mm-hmm.
And how Robin was like that one hit wonder. Let's go to the mall.
Let's go to the mall.
Every time I hear like, I wish I came to my mall. Like I always think of her in that like song and how they made fun of her. And you just gave me a fun idea for an episode theme. We should do roller skating songs.
Oh, that is a good one. Oh, yes. Write that one down. That's a good one. Roller skating.
People have a lot of memories to those roller skating songs.
I think so too. It's
written down. That's going to happen. Don't know what
episode.
One. Love it.
Here it comes.
Your song rating, is it that you like this song and I don't know what your rating is yet? Or is it because you like Tiffany? Like, how are you? Or are you rating her down because it didn't happen?
All right. So I haven't heard this song in years.
No way.
I haven't heard it in years. I really haven't.
Today.
No, well, that's because I don't listen to the Nora Jones or the Tiffany station on Pandora, the Debbie Gibson station on Pandora, like you do. So I haven't heard the song in years, and so re-listening back to the song after I got through the nostalgia of things, I was like,
oh no,
it's like it's like an okay song. It's not great. It's just sort of like it's a teeny bopper ballad. Like that's what it was.
Teeny bopper ballad.
And that's what I was at the time. I was 14 years old, slow skating, hoping Tiffany would play at my mall. Or hoping someone else would slow skate with me. So the song itself isn't that great. I mean, listen, it's like, I know it was written and I know I looked it up, like Carrie Underwood sang this on season 4 of American Idol, wound up winning because she sang that song. So it's like, all right, listen, it's not a ditty. It's just a ballad. It's like a,
teeny bopper ballad. I really like how
it's a teeny bopper ballad type of song. So listen, the nostalgia aside, the song itself doesn't hold up.
Fair. Okay.
But I don't know. So I don't want to give it it's hard because now here's where emotion comes into it. Like, it probably is a 2, but I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh, what happened there?
But it doesn't mean I still don't have a
14-year-old Chris liked her because it'd be a 2 record, and I don't think I could have handled that.
So I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh,
I'm going to give it a 3.
Goodness.
It's getting a 3. Probably deserves a little bit of a 2, but I don't want to be. I just because it is Tiffany.
just in case she's listening.
Oh, just in case she's still listening. But no, I'm off the market now.
It's true. This is true.
I'm married, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I
you snooze, you lose. You didn't
You
go to
had
his
your
mall.
chance. You had your chance when I was 14.
Lessons learned, Tiffany.
We could have met at the mall, and it could have been a whole different story. But
but it's over now.
But it's over now. Could have been. Oh my God, that's so great.
Does anyone find us as funny as we do?
I don't know. I think our audience just left.
I know, they were like, oh God.
I don't see anybody. They're like, oh my God. It's the worst show ever. No, I'm just kidding.
So I'll accept your 3 records because for all of the reasons that you said, that's fair.
But I admitted a lot of stuff, that I had a crush on her, that I slowed down to skate.
Good stories. Like you got a lot of feeling into that rating, and that's usually Amanda. So
I switched places with you for a little bit.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. So that's fun. Your 3 record rating is going to make it easier for me to rate Blitzkrieg Bop.
I don't know how this isn't a 5 record song, but okay.
Okay.
I really don't, but it's okay.
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, Amanda Sharp. Go ahead, Amanda Sharp.
Uh-oh. He said Amanda Sharp, you guys. I'm in trouble. It's always my favorite. Amanda Sharp. So, first of all, from the name, I didn't know that I knew the song. I just didn't know that was the name. So I was pleasantly happy. I was like, oh, I got this song. Like, and I actually knew the words because, like, there are none. It's a very basic song.
Yeah, it's the Ramones.
I like the bop of the song. But you know what ruins this for me? And it's so dumb. And I apologize.
Into the mind of Amanda Sharp.
Yes. I feel like it's in a gazillion commercials.
You know what? That's actually an interesting point. You're right. It is very overused in a lot of commercials.
And
it's an interesting point.
So
I didn't think
overused.
about that. It is a little overplayed in that. But once again, I didn't even know that. See, I wasn't sure if you would even know this song. Because like when we did AC/DC, we've done some other songs where you're like, I think I've heard this song. And I was like, I don't know how you haven't not ever heard this song. So
I bet I only know it from commercials. Let's Google what commercial this is in. Can you Google faster than me?
Maybe.
Here. Yes. Because I won't even be able to spell Blitzkrieg. I can barely say it. I certainly can't spell it. I'm curious what commercials. I feel like it's in a car commercial.
Oh, it's definitely in a car commercial.
Watch it only be in like one commercial.
Well, it's been in video games for sure. Rated number 2 as 500 greatest songs ever written, by the way, just so you know.
Number 2? Wow.
No, it's number 92.
Oh, 92. Okay. That's still high, but I wish
Taco Bell, Cartoon Network, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, NBA 2K16. That's just a few.
So I feel like it's over, kind of like Journey, but in a different way. Like Journey, you have a lot of good memories with because it's played at fun times. I don't enjoy watching commercials unless they're like the progressive, like parent ones. Those are hilarious. I love those because I fell victim into becoming my parents. And I feel like I could just be that person in the commercial.
Right. Diet Pepsi is another one.
Ooh, that makes sense.
Wow, it's been in a ton of movies actually.
And so I feel like,
and the New York Yankees play this. Well, they used to play.
So that's part of the problem. So had I knew it from just it being a song, I feel like I probably would have enjoyed it, had some memories to it. But now I just associate it with commercials, which aren't always pleasant.
I like your logic is fantastic, by the way. The Amanda Sharp logic. It's like when you go, Amanda, show your work. Okay. I'd like to see this as a flow chart in the decision-making process. I may have to make a flow chart of the Amanda Sharp decision-making process.
That would be hilarious.
Rachel and I, my wife Rachel and I once started doing this in the car of like trying to figure out your decision-making process with a song. And we abandoned it because it got too complicated.
Too complicated. You would have never pulled in the commercial factor.
No, the commercial factor's new. See, that now is added to the list as I tried to decipher. You're like, it's like the Da Vinci Code was easier to crack.
You guys, poor Chris. He probably regrets this show every day of his life.
Never.
But
it's the greatest show I've ever done in my life. This might be the single greatest creative endeavor I've ever done.
So like, I hate to give it 3 records.
Oh, God.
I know, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to give it 3 records for the reasons in which I stated. Does anyone need to come up and yell at me? If you do, now is your chance.
Everybody is speechless because I can't believe you just gave Blitzkrieg Bop 3 records.
I'm sorry.
Hey ho, let's go.
Hey ho, let's go.
Yeah. Hey ho, let's go.
Sorry.
All right. Forget it. Done. I'm not even going to try to campaign and convince you.
Okay, perfect.
Your logic is what it is. Moving on.
To that logic. Oh my gosh. All right. So my third
good rating, Amanda Sharp.
Yeah.
All right. So your final song to me was Lauren Daigle, like bagel. I think
Daigle,
that's
bagel.
what we're going with.
Absolutely.
With the song You Say. So interesting song. Never heard of Lauren Daigle before. Never heard this song before. So then I learned, I was like, okay, she's a contemporary Christian music singer. This song though apparently was a huge hit. Like I was looking at it, I was like, whoa, this song peaked at #1 on multiple charts, including Christian Adult Contemporary. It was released to mainstream radio in 2019, and it hit the Adult Top 40, Adult Contemporary, Mainstream Top 40. It is the second biggest Christian song in 2018 in the U.S. Just really like it was certified 4 times platinum. Like I'm like, wow,
crazy, right?
Yeah, what a huge song, and I never heard it. Like I've never heard this song ever. I've never even heard of Lauren Daigle. So I mean, it's just and being that it's on the Christian contemporary side, it's not really. I've listened to some Christian rock bands and stuff like Stryper and a couple other ones, but I don't listen to those stations much. So, so the song completely flew under my radar. She actually won a Grammy for this too in 2019. So, very cool. I will say its message is great. It's a positive song. I like her voice. I even watched the video on this one, which was just kind of cool. I will say all in all, it's a well-written song. It's cool. I will say the only thing for me, I did listen to it a few times. Like I listened to it several times over because once again, never heard of it before. And what I was looking for was it to get hooky for me. And that's the only thing for me. Like, I feel like all these, once again, love the messaging of this and all, and I like the positivity because I also feel like, here's no offense to anybody, but what my only problem, and this is my own personal view, is I feel like a lot of times with a lot of the Christian music, I feel like it's a little beating me over the head rather than like focusing on I feel like the way she has the message in here is not so like
in your
browbeating me. Right. And I like
that. I think it's showing up on all of those other charts and being so successful kind of reflects that. Yeah, and that's just my personal opinion. Because then I also feel like it puts you in a little bit of a box and this is why I think a song like this can cross over because you don't have to feel like, oh, well, I'm not of this faith, so I can't listen to this. I don't know how people but so anyway, I like that she did that with this song. But I will say for me, the one thing I was looking for a hook for me that would make the song memorable for me, and I couldn't find one. Like it just wasn't hitting me as like, oh, so while I checked a lot of the other boxes, the thing for me that was missing was I just couldn't like get hooked in on it. So it made it like not very memorable for me. So I'd be like, so my reaction was, this is a good song. She's got a great voice. I love the message, but like, I'm not really being able to remember this song. It's not memorable for me. So that's why I'm going to give it 3 records because for me, it's not. That's fair.
It's just not hooking me. That's all. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but that's the reason why.
And honestly, I threw it in solely because I wanted to see what you thought of her voice.
I think her voice is great. I actually liked her
Because
voice. I thought her voice had a lot of I thought she had a good little bit of soul and was slightly bluesy in there. Like I liked the quality of her voice. I really did.
And she has an edgier look.
She does, which I think is just more, she's just with it, like she's with what the style is of what's going on. And I think it's a good look, and it's not over the top, and she doesn't, it's just, I think it looks like it fits her.
Right. It's not your traditional church going outfit that, I mean, you wouldn't
it's not.
Like imagine that.
I wouldn't have even taken this as a contemporary Christian, whatever label, which,
Sure.
If I didn't do the research, like I listened to the song before what I usually try to do, if I don't know the song, I don't even bother going on to Song Facts or anything. I don't do any of that till I've listened to the song a few times, because I just want my impression of the song to hit before that. I go, okay, now let me go and find out some more about especially the new artists, like stuff I've never heard before. Like let me just go into the song fresh. Let me listen to it a bunch of times before I start digging.
Sure.
Because I don't want to
know that it was necessarily a Christian song.
I would have never guessed that, which also to me makes it, I feel like that's a good, I like that.
Hey, it's a way to open doors. I feel like, again, I didn't really care about the rating as much as I was curious what you thought of her voice.
You were testing me. I know you were testing me on this one.
Yeah. And I was just, I heard it. I was like, I don't even care what he has to say. I want to see what he thinks of her voice, because I think she's so talented.
I think she's got a great voice. I really do.
And the message is good, as you would expect.
I feel like it's a good way
to have a good message.
See, what I feel like is, I just feel like it's artistic, and it crosses where you could make the song be whatever you want it to be, rather than kind of putting it into a box and saying, no, clearly this song is only about this, and this is the only thing you're going to think about.
Absolutely.
So that's why, for me, the song, that's why I said it checks a lot of boxes. It just, the one thing for me is missing is just that hook. That's all.
Fair enough. I like it. So 3 records of this, not bad, because I wasn't sure. I mean, I honestly thought it might get 2. Because it was just a risk, but I wanted to test the waters and see.
I'll tell you this, I think it's a better written song than Could Have Been, even though Could Have Been was a number 1 song. But the thing is, this song, I mean, from a commercial success standpoint, the song was commercially successful. I mean, so was Could Have Been, but Could Have Been, I don't feel like has aged very well at all. Like it sounds like an 80s teeny bopper ballad. Like, whereas I feel like sometimes you send me country songs, and this is just me not knowing a lot about country, but like I hear a lot of the stuff you send me, and I can't pinpoint what year it was recorded in. I almost feel like it's always recorded very, very recent, like within a year or two, and then I'm shocked to be like, wow, that's 90s or that's early 2000s. Like,
that was like 96 Tears for Me last week.
Right. And I feel like, that's a great point. And I feel like this song, like, yes, it's recent, but like, I think that I would be like, I don't know when this was recorded. Actually, it feels, whereas like, I think Tiffany is like bullseye 80s.
Yeah.
Like,
nailed it. Well, good rating. I accept that 3. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget.
Let the record note. 3 records.
3 records. All right, Chris.
Now, I know I'm not getting 1 record for this. This next song.
No, you're not getting 1 record.
Here we go. So I'm gonna keep trying to give you Misfits songs. Sorry, it's just gonna keep coming.
Well, thank God it's a very short song. 1 minute and 39 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, that's a long song. That's a long song for the Misfits.
Well, you know what my biggest problem with this song was? And I don't think you put the wrong version on Spotify, because that's Spotify. I feel like when I hear it, I'm like, what are they saying? Like, I couldn't hear the words very well.
Moments. Like, I gotta
like
make sure
mumbling.
I give you the right version, because there are a few versions. There's a few different recordings of the song, but I think I gave you the one off of Legacy of Brutality.
It was like a mumble. Like when Owen's like talking to me, I'm like, you have to speak clearly and loudly. I can't hear you. Like, I'm hungry.
Mom, I'm hungry.
Mom, I'm hungry. Where's the
Mom,
meatloaf?
where's the mac and cheese?
Where's the mac and cheese? None of his friends listen to this, I hope. No. We've made it if that happens. Just saying. He'll have the deal.
We're in good shape.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, like I felt like they were just mumbling and I couldn't quite hear the lyrics. So I Googled them and I shouldn't have. I could have dealt just as good without them. And I don't know why they use certain lyrics. Like, why does the word rape have to be in a lyric? Chris.
I can't.
Aren't there other words? It's so aggressive. The last was skulls, where they're putting little girls' heads on sticks. And now there's like, I just feel like, are they sexual predators? Like,
No, they're not.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. But, they say not nice things.
But because a lot of their stuff is like comes from like 50s and 60s like horror movie stuff. Like drive-in movie stuff is a lot of their things that they're just inspired by. Like they take a lot of that stuff and they just write songs about it. Like a lot, especially songs like they just take things from like horror films, horror and sci-fi movies, and sometimes some occult stuff. But it's like it's all supposed to be done in like I don't know how to explain it, Amanda Sharp.
I just like the mom in me is like, I'd be concerned if like Owen was writing a poem and he put the word rape in it. Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Add it to music, it doesn't make it any better.
So I thought you would like this song a little bit more because I'm like, this is him. This is Glenn Danzig doing his like total Jim Morrison Elvis.
Actually, the music part of it didn't bother me. It was very quick, and it was when I dove into the lyrics a little bit more. I was like, oh.
Well, a lot of times too,
disappoint me.
I don't know really how to explain it. They are kind of considered like a horror punk band or like the start of like that sort of. Now there's like a billion horror punk bands, but when they kind of came out, they were sort of like a little bit of the first ones to sort of adopt that like look, feel, imagery, like. Skulls on stage and pumpkins. And so like, they're the Halloween punk band. Like, so a lot of their,
appreciate
like, that's just their look, their feel, their image. That's a lot of the songs are like that. So it's kind of like comes at it from like, it's like if a horror movie could sing to you, this is what the Misfits are.
This one's a little more cheery sounding. It's just the lyrics are a little bit still cryptic.
All right. So just give me 2 records. Here it comes. I'm going to give it 2 records. I know it.
You got it. It's hard to give Hey Ho 3.
That should be 5.
Kind of fair.
It should be 4. Fair.
You know what? I'm gonna up it to a 4. I'm feeling guilty about my
because you're feeling guilty about giving me another 2 on the Misfits.
Not that much. I just don't want it to be so close to Hey Ho. It deserves to be further away.
You want some more separation?
I need some more separation. I'm going to keep the Misfits Hybrid Moments added to record. I'm so sorry, Chris.
It's okay. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep giving you Misfits.
Don't stop believing.
I'm not going to stop believing. Well, wait till we do the Halloween episode.
You know what? Now
you're guaranteed getting a Misfit song in a Halloween episode, and everybody listening already knows what song it's going to be, and you all know Amanda's never heard that song, but you all know what song it's going to be.
Oh, so
they all know. Anybody who listens to the Misfits and knows, like Chris Coasters knows. She knows. She gets it. She knows.
There's just certain words that I don't like.
I know, and I didn't pick the song because of those words. By the way,
I'm sure you did not.
But I can't help it. That's the thing. I didn't write the song. It's not from my mind.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like if I will tell you this: if I wrote a song, there's definitely words I would not put in a song. My mind doesn't go there.
Right, which makes me just go. I don't want to be too critical because I don't want to be mean, but I just feel like that's not healthy words to use.
Well,
put an adult woman's heads on sticks, not little girls' heads on sticks. But an adult woman, like say that, not a little girl's heads on.
Right, but that so like Skulls is basically like if an episode of American Horror Story came to life and could sing, that would be Skulls.
That is a good show. And the thing is, like, I love a good horror movie.
Right, and that's what the Misfits are, basically a horror movie that sings.
I guess there's just something more cryptic about putting a tune to terrible storylines. Like, that just seems so wrong.
Oh, it's so good.
There's no logic maybe behind what I say ever. But you're right.
I think I don't know if it's sometimes logic and taste, it doesn't really matter. Like it's just what you like, right? And it's what connects with you, and some things just don't connect with you, Amanda Sharp.
True that. But okay, so at the end of the day, since you pleaded your case, we got the Ramones up to 4. So 2 4s and a 2.
All right. I accept that. I campaigned.
You campaigned. You pleaded the case, and boom.
I pleaded the case.
I mean, I got a 5 record, but 2 3s, so that's pretty similar.
Pretty good. pretty good.
Oh my gosh! So anyone want to come yell at us? Raise your hand to come on up.
The floor is open.
The floor is open. While we're waiting, I just want to thank everyone for being here and hanging in there. And Chris, thank you for coming to stage and adding to the show. It's always fun when we get a little extra personality added. That's fun.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. No, we appreciate that. We appreciate everybody coming up and participating and all the feedback and all the fun we all have during the week as well, with people commenting on posts and resharing content. And, please absolutely keep that up, because it's fun for us and it does help the show grow for sure. Definitely one thing we would ask for you to all do is, if you're listening to this on Fireside, is to please hit that share with your followers button when either now or when the show is over, just so we can spread the love about the Chris and Amanda show to everybody here on Fireside. And we are also now distributing the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts as well. So we have a show trail up there now, and all past episodes will eventually begin to become populated on there as well. So Chris and Amanda show is everywhere now.
Everywhere.
For everyone.
It's fun. It's been like we're slowly continuing to just add things, and I'm super proud of us. But it wouldn't be without our amazing community, encouraging it and asking questions and just participating. So who knows where we would be if we didn't have that amazing community? Maybe just on episode 2, not instead of episode 20.
Maybe on episode 2. Yep. And here we are, episode 20. Going on to episode 21. So just as a reminder, so next week's episode 21, will be a covers episode. So Amanda and I will pick 3 cover songs each for one another, and we will review them and discuss them as we always do. So make sure you definitely come back next Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, to check that episode out. And as Amanda said, there's going to be a bonus song. So we have to figure out how are we doing a bonus song. So how are we getting? So we want the audience to pick the bonus song. Like we want
choose
submissions.
The bonus song,
yes.
And then we'll choose our individual covers of that.
Right.
That sound good?
That sounds good.
Probably it'll have to be in stories, so they can vote, or we can just do a post and they can go in the comments.
Yes, and then we'll tally it up.
Yeah, then we'll tally it up. Little extra work, but that's okay. But it'll stay longer.
It's okay. It's for the show. It's for the show.
Too bad the Never Ending Story isn't a cover. I don't know that anyone else did that.
Other than what was in Stranger Things. That's a cover.
That is true, because technically, yes.
But we just talked about that one, and everybody knows that one's easy. Everybody already knows what our reactions are to that one. We've documented our love for we've documented our love for Never Ending Story and that song way too much.
So Facebook had on my feed, it was a sponsored ad, and it was like a book of Never Ending Story with like the pendant and everything on there. And I was like, oh, I should send that to Chris. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I know. I'm like, is that so nerdy to send Chris this book of the never-ending story? Like, I wonder if
Look
I'll
who you're
put it on
talking
his
to.
bookshelf behind him.
Look who you're talking to. Is it too nerdy should never be anything when it comes to me.
I love it.
It's actually
Well,
more or
you might
less
be on the
like,
way.
yeah, it's got to be more or less like, Chris, I don't think you should buy that. That's just way too nerdy. Like that's the,
No, I would never say that. I live, breathe, and speak nerd.
Chris, don't get that tattoo. It is way too nerdy. That's those are like,
I would say, Chris, don't get the tattoo. Don't ruin your body. That's what Amanda
that's
would
too
say.
late. Oh, way too late for that. You're a little late on that one, Amanda Sharp.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well,
on that note.
Yes. On that note, go ahead. You were gonna thank everybody, weren't you? You were just gonna do it.
I was.
Yes.
Just thank you for coming. And Victoria, thank you for popping in at the very last minute. We always appreciate seeing your face. Don't forget to follow us in all of our social media channels and always engage because we love it so much. So thank you for being here. We'll see you next Monday for episode 21, the covers theme episode.
Woohoo. All right. See everyone next week.
Woohoo.
Woo!
Woohoo! Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.